How's it going, everybody? This is Alex Caceres, and you're listening to Story of the Fight.
Up, Will.
What's up, dude?
Welcome, Story of the Fight listeners. My name is Ramiro. That's my boy Will. This is where we talk all things combat sports. Today, we're going to be covering UFC 313 and One Fight Night 29. We're going to be covering a legend, a fast-rising legend that finally went down, Will. Ooh. Another banger between Fiziev and Gaethje. And then one of my favorite fights the entire weekend was actually a female fight in One Fight Night 29. But before we do, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, goes a long way. On top of that, if you don't like watching YouTube, you have other ways of watching, listening, right, Will?
Yeah, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Podcasts if you want just audio. We live stream on Twitch, but we also live stream here on YouTube. And we have other videos on YouTube, interviews, things like that. So we definitely suggest YouTube's the way to go. But we're everywhere if you'd rather. And then on all socials, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Reddit. It's just Story of the Fight. Go to storyofthefight.com. It'll list everything. You can just click through, hit follow.
We've said it before. If you can't find us, you're not trying hard enough, because it's like we couldn't have made it any easier.
Very easy. Storyofthefight.com. It lists all of our socials, which happen to be Story of the Fight. Easy peasy.
Dude, doesn't get much easier than that. Well, hey, Will, we have a lot to talk about. Let's go and get started, man. We're going to kick it off with UFC 313. And look, Will, you could tell when there's hype behind a fight. You know how I could tell?
How's that?
Our boy, none other than our producer, Rich the Casual, who doesn't watch fights, was texting us about the fights leading into.
Crazy. And then the main card started, and he responded as soon as the first fight ended. And it was like, whoa, Rich is not just interested, he's actively watching.
When Rich's gives a shit meter is high for a card, you know there's hype behind that card.
Exactly. So we had Alex Pereira versus Magomed, Ankalaev, and you talk about it being super high. Everybody's talking about this fight. You know, it's a big, hey, shout out Genevieve. It's a big, it's a big event anytime Alex fights. He's headlining. It's pay-per-view.
He's a fucking superstar.
It's gonna do numbers. And what a perfect time for ESPN to have a bunch of issues with buying the pay-per-view. So bad.
Oh, really?
That today, when I was going through pictures to make the slideshow, I was like, well, I need a couple screenshots. ESPN's just giving it out for free because they had such a hard time selling it last night.
No.
There's literally just, if you just go to ESPN Plus, if you have an ESPN Plus account, they're just giving it for free if you want to go back and rewatch, because they had that many issues. And that's the only place you can buy it in America. So, you know, Uncle Dana's probably pissed about that. A big event, and you can't even buy the pay-per-view. That's crazy.
That is rough. Well, hey, you know what? Outside of a few fights, they miss out on much for anybody that missed it.
The pay-per-view was good.
That is true. Actually, that's true. The main card was good.
Yeah.
The main card was good. Yeah. So, hey, Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira. Oh, my goodness. Again, the hype behind this man. He's been on a tear for the last couple of years. I want to say that he has, is it 4 straight title defenses?
Something like that. Yeah, I think so.
Well, but either way, hey, a star, an absolute bona fide, not just a star in the UFC. He's like transcending, right? Like they want this guy everywhere. You see him in Japan, you see him in Korea. He's dancing around. People love this guy.
Australia, he's at Drake concerts. You know, he wasn't the gym.
What?
Oh
no.
No, I'm just kidding. A lot of people
were
like, man, Poaton's not taking this one seriously. He's not in the gym. He's out in Australia. He's at Drake concerts. He's doing this and that. It's like, just because you saw a 10, 15-second clip doesn't mean that he's not spending the rest of the day at the gym. You know what I mean?
Also, they got gyms in Australia.
Yeah.
They have gyms at Drake concerts, dude. Everybody knows that. He walks out the tunnel, goes straight to the gym at the concert.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, a lot of interesting stuff going into this matchup. You know when someone's got a ton of star power when you just see, like, tons of crazy takes in the lead up of a fight. And you're like, oh, this fighter kind of transcended a little bit, because we got a bunch of people saying some crazy shit because they're Alex fans. They're not necessarily mixed martial arts fans. And
Stephen A. Smith talking about the fight.
Was he?
No, more than likely.
It's like, I would have hit him with this uppercut. That video.
Shovel hook.
Yeah. Instead, Poatan said, I'm not even going to try the shovel hook. I'm just going to leg kick. for the whole fight.
Dude, especially that first round. I think he landed 14, 15. But leading up to walkout still gives me goosebumps for Alex Pereira. Every single time he walks out, he does a little stomp. He does the arrow. Absolutely love it. Stare down, not as good as the previous fights. That's when I was concerned.
You know why? I think in
Ankalaev
hindsight
didn't sit there.
He was moving the whole time, and
Yes.
Poatan was just staring at him, right? And then in hindsight, it kind of sucks because that's also what his strategy in the fight was. To just stare at him and not do anything.
The champ is here, Ganskow. Shout out Ganskow. By the way, nice picture with the belt. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So the entire first round is just the calf kick over and over and over again from Pereira, right?
Yeah.
And then Ankalaev kind of trying to stick and move a little bit. And he clinches at the end of the first round. And I thought, okay, maybe this is the plan. Maybe he's just going to try to stick and move. And then at the end of the round, kind of try to steal the round away with either a takedown, clinching up against the fence, landing some dirty shots. What do you think of that first round?
Yeah, first round I thought was a clear Alex round, only because of the calf kicks. There wasn't really much going from Ankalaev. And there is controversy on the decision of this fight. A lot of people are split on this one. But first round I thought clear Alex round.
Me too. Okay,
let's
do that. Let's talk about the rounds, and then at the end, who you gave the round to.
Okay, and then Rich, maybe we keep the pictures moving slow on this one as we move through, because there's a couple things
Rich
in the slideshow.
Took the pictures off right away.
He's slow? How about no? There's a couple pictures in there about stats and stuff that I want to talk about, like numbers wise. But so yeah, second round, Ankalaev foot on the gas, heavy pressure from Ankalaev. And really good just understanding of the game and not biting on Alex's feints. Alex has a lot of feints.
So many feints.
But they're not the same. There's so many, but he uses them in a lot of his fights, and he gets reactions out of people, and that's when he kills you. When you react off his feints, he kills you. Ankalaev was like, doesn't bother me. Most of these are going to be feints. That's fine.
It's funny you mentioned the feints. My boy Armando, shout out Armando, was texting me, and we were talking about that. He's like, "Man, what do you think?" And I said, "We'll talk about how post fight. We'll talk about how I scored the fight." But one of the things I said is feints can be good if you follow it up with something.
Yeah,
it was feint after feint after feint, and to your point, props to Ankalaev because he didn't bite on anything, which caused Poatan to kind of just sit back off of his feint. So he'd come in with the knee, put the knee back down. He kind of faked the left hook that everybody's terrified of, and brings the left hook back. Calf kick, feint, and I'm like, oh, come on, dude, like let's get going. It was
and in that second round, one of the things that really stood out to me is Ankalaev's hand fighting. Because when you're fighting, when you're open stance matchup, the left hook when Alex is fighting a southpaw, he doesn't have a big wind up outside leg kick, right? It's going to go shin to shin if he throws his rear leg as a leg kick. He has to do a step up or a switch low kick off of his lead leg to hit the outside calf, which he was doing the whole fight, right? Like that does work, but it's not the same as like a big power rear leg low kick, right? Also, his left hook isn't as dangerous against a southpaw because the southpaw can then kind of just tuck his shoulder, tuck behind the shoulder, and that left hook can glance. So the left hook doesn't have a clean lane against a southpaw. So what Poatan does a lot is he does that hand fighting game with his lead hand, his big left hook hand, and he'll get southpaws to be under his hand. He'll paw them down and then throw a left hook, right? Because it clears that lane with the hand fighting. And you see it with Jamal Hill. You see it with DJ Prohaska. He does that a lot. But Ankalaev, anytime Poatan would start setting up that hand fighting and that lull and that snake charm, Ankalaev would do something to disrupt it. Either he'd back out and say, fuck this, or he'd hand fight and switch stances on his own, or he'd start dipping, feinting takedowns, and just completely wax on, wax off the hand fighting and not even play that game with them. And you could see Alex is like, what's this? Why aren't you letting me dominate the hand fighting? And I thought that was very good from Ankalaev.
Can we also talk about the level change feints as well from Ankalaev in this round, which was getting a massive reaction from Poatan?
Because he would start that hand feint, and then Ankalaev's like, no. Yeah, exactly. Very good. And then he starts putting some hands together, and he cracks Poatan. Basically, you could argue Saved by the Bell type round, which we've seen a lot from Poatan. He gets clipped at the end of rounds pretty frequently. Izzy in multiple fights had him like almost out of there as the bell was ringing.
What a picture.
And now
That's a great
Ankalaev.
picture.
Yeah, so second round, big second round. Big second round. If this was
For
a
Ankalaev.
10-point must, yeah. If this wasn't a 10-point must system, you would probably say that round was way more significant than round 1. They count the same because you're not going to give him a 10-8 round for that, but
so you have
that
first round Poatan, second round Ankalaev.
Without a doubt.
Me too.
With
Okay,
much
so
more
far,
damage happening in that second round.
So far, your judging, my judging is pretty spot on and even. All right, round 3. We have it 1-1 so far, 19-19. Teep kicks showing up well for Ankalaev.
Very good teep kicks because you don't have to worry. Teep kicks you don't see teeps as often in MMA because of the threat of the takedown. Poatan's not taking you down. Teep away.
Not taking you down.
Teep away.
Not taking
Very
you down.
good. Yeah.
Pereira still reacting big from any move from Ankalaev. But Pereira starts letting his hands go a little bit more. But he's missing more than what we're accustomed to against Ankalaev.
Yes.
His movement was really good. His angles that he was creating was really good. Ankalaev, that is. Ankalaev clinches Poatan. Poatan showing off his takedown defense.
Very good takedown defense.
Right? Were you surprised?
Not necessarily. Maybe a little bit as the fight continued. But off the bat, no, because Ankalaev's not like a big takedown artist. Like he doesn't shoot big driving takedowns. He never really has. He's always been more of a striker. I did think he would have more success wrestling Poatan, but I didn't expect him to go out there and just like floor him every single round. I did expect him to get at least one takedown, but
impressive takedown defense though.
So it was very impressive. Not necessarily surprising for me, but definitely impressive. But the problem is the urgency to break away as the fight continued kind of disappeared from Poatan, where early on he'd stuff that takedown, scoot his hips out, pummel, angle off, and separate, fight the hands, separate, and then they're back. And as the fight kind of continued, that disappeared a little bit.
I wonder if it's because he got rocked.
I mean, he got rocked at the end of that second round.
The thing is, he got hit so hard, so I'm concerned. I'm like, how much did he recover? This is the round also where you see Pereira stagger a little bit off of a hard jab from Ankalaev.
Towards the end of the round. Yeah.
Towards the end of the round. So I was like, oh no. And then another stat that was pretty impressive leading up to the end of the round, Will. 41% advancement for Ankalaev compared to 14% for Pereira. Pereira on his back foot majority of the fight so far through the third.
So this round, in my opinion, is the deciding round. The round 3 was very close.
Who'd you give it to?
Because I thought Ankalaev started off well.
Same
I thought Poatan controlled the action, or at least landed some good shots towards the middle of that round. But then Ankalaev came on strong at the end of the round, especially with that jab. This was a very close round, but that jab stumbled Poatan a little bit up against the fence at the end. So you're like, okay, it's very close striking. I would personally give the edge to Ankalaev in that round with the striking.
Same.
But even if you say Poatan is a little bit ahead of him, I would say it was close enough either way that you do have to now factor in octagon control and aggression, because the rules literally say if there's no clear winner in the striking or the grappling, then we start to factor in octagon control and aggression, things like that, which I would say heavily favored to Ankalaev. To your point, 41% advancement, whatever the number was. But it was clear Poatan was getting cornered and having to circle for most of that round. So regardless, I think the striking was close enough that you can make either case. And that is when you have to start looking at outside factors or other things like octagon control. So I go Ankalaev round 3.
Me too. Okay, so round 4, both of us have Ankalaev 2-1, 29-28 so far. Right back to the pressure for Ankalaev. Ankalaev clinches Poatan. Poatan again, good takedown defense, but a lot of control time for Ankalaev with Pereira up against the fence this entire round.
Yeah, minutes of control time. And I see people thinking this was boring. I thought the clinch work, look at Rich on the pictures. Look, this shot right here shows you it's not just boring clinch work, because look at Mark Zuckerberg's face. Look at him front row. He's ecstatic, man.
Look at Bert Kreischer.
Bert Kreischer not knowing what he's watching.
Right next to Theo Vaughn to his left.
Yeah. But look, the knees to the legs and the knees to the body from Ankalaev in the clinch in this round, very good work. It's not like he was just holding him up against the fence. He was landing very well. I thought his clinch work in this round was very, very good. It wasn't like threatening with takedowns necessarily, his clinch work, but I thought he controlled him for the whole round, and it's not like there was no damage or impact because he was kneeing him to the belly all the time, kneeing him to the legs. Anybody who says, yeah, but those knees to the legs don't mean shit, go ahead and take them. Clinch knees to your knees, the inside part of your knee or something like that, your back of your thigh. That shit sucks.
Painful.
It sucks.
Painful.
It's not nothing,
Yeah.
I would say even it had as much of an effect on Poaton's legs as the leg kicks did to Ankalaev. Because, Rogan and DC were talking about the leg kicks so much because they were scoring and it left a good welt. Did it ever affect his performance? I don't think so.
It didn't look
we never
like
got
it.
We never got big reactions out
By
of
the
him.
way, shout out Blunderbug. Co-main was a banger, but didn't really enjoy most of the pay-per-view portion. He said the strawweight fight was and then
we're not going to cover
Omar
that fight.
Shama now Shama.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, so big fourth round. I thought this was another clear round for Ankalaev. Round 2 or 3 was close, but 2 and 4 were very, very obviously Ankalaev.
Will, did we talk to each other before on our scoring before hopping on the podcast?
No.
You and I both had it 3-1 Ankalaev heading into the 5th round, scoring it 39-37 Ankalaev up until the 5th. So I gave Ankalaev the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th. Now let's talk about the 5th. Poatan pressing a lot more in the 5th. Poatan starts letting go of his jab. Ankalaev, when Ankalaev was coming in, instead of fainting, he was jabbing his face off now. And I was like, holy smokes, if we would have done this a few rounds earlier.
Who are you
Ankalaev,
though?
I'm not biased in this one.
I was rooting for Alex. I actually was rooting for Alex.
So was I
picked Ankalaev, but I was rooting for Alex.
Ankalaev clinches again. Pereira, great balance, stuffing 11 takedowns.
Yeah, good
that night.
Very good stat.
I gave that round to Pereira.
I gave it to Alex. It was a decently close round just because there wasn't a ton of activity. But he did land the better shots, I thought. Ankalaev largely took most of that round off, I thought. Like the first, maybe a little bit more than the first half of that round. He didn't really do much. Poatan just still, for some reason, it's like he was very dependent on making Ankalaev react a certain way that opens up what he wants to land, instead of just saying, okay, look, it's the 5th round. I'm not getting the reactions I want out of him. I need to start doing something. And you could see he wanted to, because he's like pressuring, but then he wouldn't actually go. And it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on. But yeah, I gave him that round. Yeah.
Had it scored 48-47 for Ankalaev. Yeah, we had the exact same scoring. We didn't even talk about it leading up to the podcast.
I was kind of hoping you disagreed with the decision so we could kind of like butt heads a little bit and argue that third round, but we saw exactly the same.
We saw exactly the same thing. And, Nevada State Athletic Commission, we'll be waiting for your call. We'll be waiting for your call. We're down to judge. Just let us know when.
So one thing I wanted to talk about, I don't know if it's the next picture, Rich, if you can go to the picture of the stats for me really quick. A lot of people thought Poatan won this fight, and I think some of it is probably just bias, right? They want Poatan to win, so you see when you're watching a fighter you want to win, you see things differently a little bit. But another thing is commentary, right, will sway your opinion a little bit. If you're doing something else while you're watching and you hear them talking about something, the leg kicks, they're staggering them. Rogan was talking about Ankalaev already limping and being compromised literally a minute into the first round. So if you're just listening and you're half watching things like that, you might think, oh, yeah, Poatan's dictating this with the leg kicks, things like that. Not necessarily the case, in my opinion. So commentary, so your bias as a fan of a fighter can cloud it a little bit. Commentary bias can cloud it a little bit. But then there's the numbers that the UFC actually shows you during the fight. They'll show you the live stats, right? And they're always going to say, these aren't official numbers, right? They're just the live numbers. I want people to realize how wildly inaccurate these numbers are when they show them during the fight. Because when it's a close round and then they show the stats at the end of the round, you're like, oh, I guess they won. Don't literally disregard the numbers they show you. So this is head, body, leg strikes. Towards the end of round 4, they show Alex Pereira landing 30 head strikes through the first 4 rounds. When they actually went back on the right-hand side of the screen here is the actual UFC stats when they go back after the fact and have someone watching each round and diligently tally up the numbers and put them on the website. Poatan landed 11 significant strikes to the head across the entire fight. 11.
Wow.
This stat during the fight shows him at 30 before round 5 even started. That's crazy.
Wow. That is.
Hey, shout out
different if
Coleslaw.
it's like a plus minus 1 or 2. You know what I mean? This is a big
Exactly.
difference.
It's a huge difference. It's a huge difference. Saying that he's landed 30 strikes to the head when up until this point, the reality is he had 2 in round 1, 5 in round 2, 2 in round 3, and 6 in round 7. So we're looking at 9. At this point, he was at 9, and they're showing him at 30. So if you're watching the fights and they show the stats during the fight, literally just disregard them. Pretend they didn't even show them because they're going to be completely wrong. And I feel like that should be said.
Terrible. Terrible.
Yeah.
Blunderbuck, thank you for the correction there. For context, then he shares that emoji. It's not meh, it's yikes.
Yeah, that was a yikes fight. Yeah. And shout out Coleslaw. I didn't get to watch this one live because my boy had a baby shower. Gonna be a dad.
What?
Yeah.
Congratulations, baby Coleslaw coming through.
Baby Coleslaw coming through.
Heck yeah. Do we have a story of the fight onesies? Is that something we could do? Is that something we could do? We should totally do that. Congratulations, though, Coleslaw. That's awesome, man. Sounds like you had a better night than Poatan.
Oh.
Yeah. No way, no. No, Shama.
No, Shama. But ultimately, not the fight that people were expecting, probably. I thought it was an interesting fight. I rewatched it just to do scorecards on, especially on that third round. But probably not one that I'll go back to. Maybe right before they do a rematch, I'll rewatch it just to see little details and things like that. But not a very exciting fight. Not a good cap to the main card that I thought largely was exciting for the most part. But it was an interesting fight watching live.
I'm interested for the rematch.
Yeah.
I'm interested for the rematch. I think this would be a good one.
I think so too. I think the takedown defense will cause Ankalaev to rethink a little bit, and the lack of offense will also make Alex rethink some things. And I think both of those will mix for a better fight in the rematch than we got.
I agree 100%. Shamaslav.
Hey, Shamaslav.
So awesome. All right, man. We'll move on to the co-main event. We're already almost 30 minutes in, but there's a lot to talk about that main event.
Yes.
We will go on to Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. This is another rematch. Going in, I had picked Fiziev in this one.
Yeah, we were split on this card.
Yeah,
dude.
we were, and you did very well. Props to you, Will. Your boy here, not so much.
Yeah, well, it's usually the other way around.
Can all be winners. Can all be winners, but there's so much up in the air for me on this one. Fiziev
really.
Had hurt his leg in his last fight. Somewhat of a short notice, right? Taking on this
12
one.
days.
12 days.
That's pretty short.
Yeah. Justin Gaethje, his last fight was against Max Holloway, where he gets dropped in the last few seconds. He is on a lot of posters.
Yes. Yeah. And let's not forget.
Yeah.
Let's not forget. Fiziev, he tore his ACL or whatever he did, needed to get surgery. That was in 2023. So it's been a long time since we saw him in there. 12 days notice. Like you said, Gaethje was flatline KO'd his last fight. So there is a lot going into this to where it's like, well.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, am I going to take ACL recovery short notice? But Fiziev's always in fantastic shape. Or are we going to go massive brain trauma? And I was like, you know what? Which one do I go with? I'll go with Fiziev.
For me, I'm like, massive brain trauma, but it's Gaethje. They kind of go hand in hand. I'll stick with my boy. No.
With all due respect, Gaethje, you're an absolute warrior.
Yeah, I love him.
Is he ever in a boring fight? I don't think I've ever seen a boring Gaethje fight.
Never, dude. Back in the day, I was watching him pre the Nick Newell fight. That was a coming out party for a lot of people because Nick Newell had a lot of eyes on him at the time. But World Series of Fighting, all that stuff, Gaethje was like on Access TV with Michael Schiavello. Come on, dude. Those are the days, dude. But yeah, so Gaethje, even back then, it was always in bangers. But Fiziev started off this fight, I thought, in such an interesting, cool way because he's southpaw and Gaethje, Gaethje's going to leg kick. He's going to leg kick.
Yeah.
And if you're Fiziev, you're like, there's no way he expects takedowns from me, right? There's no way he's going to expect a takedown. So the first leg kick he throws, he catches it, pushes him over, takes him down. And I was just like, holy shit. I did not expect that. second leg kick, does the same exact thing. We're like, what is happening?
Yeah, Gaethje though, his reaction on that one. What do you use, like butterfly guard as he's falling back and he kind of just
Well,
flips Fiziev over?
so the first one, they end up actually on his back, right? And he literally just stiff arms him up and then moves him over and they get up. And I was like,
Brute
God
strength,
damn,
dude.
very
Brute
good wrestling from
strength.
Gaethje. And then the second one, to your point, because it's the same thing. He catches a leg kick, pushes him over with the free hand. He falls backwards and then he just rolls over and just completely tosses him over. But as they're kind of flipping around, Fiziev reaches out with his legs and grabs him, pulls him in with his legs around the head, gets him into this reverse triangle, inverted triangle position. I respect Fiziev. I think he's so fun. He's such a cool fighter. This position right here, he could have finished the fight a couple of
Yeah.
different ways, and instead he just went, "I'll just punch him in the body or 12-6 elbow him to the ribs," because that's who I'm. He's the striker. He's a striker.
Yeah.
He had 3 submission opportunities here, and he didn't go for any of them.
He said, I ain't no punk.
He's like, this. I have him in a reverse triangle. All I need to do is lock. The hardest thing he could have done was go for the inverted triangle because the way his ankles were, he would need to really dig that left leg down deep to then pull his other shin up to his into the knee crevice and lock it up. But he could have done it. He could have
Armbar?
stepped over with that right leg
Yes.
to an armbar.
I thought that too.
Or this right arm, so Gaethje's left arm in this picture is trapped in between the legs. It's up by his head. You can kind of see the hands, but it's basically in the leg lock. From Fiziev, that right arm is completely free. There's no defense. He literally could have just grabbed that arm, isolated it. Kimura. He already has. He's stepped over the head already. That's the hardest part. He didn't even try.
Yeah, we were thinking about the exact same thing as we were watching this because I was like, man, I thought Gaethje's in serious trouble here.
Me too.
This is
I was
going
like,
so many different ways. I mean, Gaethje just kind of fell into this. And then he didn't.
Yeah, he just
Like,
he just attacked the body.
Which when it started happening, I was kind of cool with it at the same time because I was like, man, he has so many different ways to finish this right now. And he just starts going to the body. I was like, this is kind of like caveman, like brute force. Like, I like it.
That's Fiziev, dude.
Let him have at it. Let him have at it.
Fiziev's all about damage, dude. What are you gonna try?
Me,
submission?
The difference was Gaethje's striking in that phone booth. Right when they get really close up to each other, there was a couple of adjustments. So there was one where Gaethje slips. He kept on slipping to his right, ducking down to the right, over and over again. On one of those, Fiziev lands the left knee.
Yeah,
it's Gaethje hard. Gaethje eats it for breakfast. Right. There's another one where he kind of like goes with a high left kick.
Yeah,
but he didn't go all the way up. Fiziev didn't go all the way up. So Gaethje ducks down. And Fiziev comes down, boom, with the hard right down to his face. And I thought, okay, these are really nice from Fiziev. But then Gaethje's head movement starts changing a little bit, as the second and third round go on. And he starts finding that right uppercut.
Mm-hmm. Which was a big deal in the first fight.
Oh, yeah. So, dude, such a fun fight. And I put down like, how did I describe it? Artistic chaos.
Yeah, dude.
Is what I wrote down at the end because this is a banger. But it's not a sloppy banger by any means.
No.
It was exciting. A banger nonetheless, dude. And both of these guys, just such good technical striking. And it's wild, but controlled. I don't know. Artistic chaos was the best thing I can come up with.
No, that's good. And, can we go back a couple pictures, Rich, really quick? To the one with the high kick from Fiziev? Oh, perfect. That's one thing that was a big... Gaethje's always done this. He's always dipped hard to his right side. You'd love to throw a jab at the same time, throw a dipping jab like BJ Penn style or something, but the man refuses to jab. It's crazy. But that dip to the right, and he loads up with like a big overhand all the time with that. But Fiziev clearly did his homework. Max Holloway did his homework and really exploited it. That's why he landed that turning side kick that broke the nose of Gaethje in the first round, because he knows Gaethje dips his head like crazy like that. If I time the spinning back kick, it'll hit him in the face. And it was like a huge fight-changing moment, right?
Yeah.
So Fiziev, like you said, the knee was beautiful on that dip. The high kick was beautiful on that dip. The right hand is good because if you can catch someone at the end of a dip, because if you dip as you're getting hit, you can kind of take some sting off that punch. But if you catch somebody post
as you're trying to come back up,
or at the end of that movement, that's not good. You don't want to be hit there. Gaethje did a great job of doing that and then rolling, grabbing that single collar, and then he can start pummeling that uppercut, which is fucking sick.
Yes, the collar
But
ties Blender Bubba
yeah,
mentions there. So
yeah,
good.
single collar tie uppercut, favorite strikes in fighting. Blunderbub, the best example is Chris Lieben versus Wanderlei Silva. 32-second knockout for Chris Lieben, where he just single collar tie and just uppercuts the hell out of him until he collapses. Yeah, beautiful chaos from Cub Swanson. But
that does sound better than artistic chaos. But that's what I was trying to get at. Yes.
Yeah. Fiziev in a traditional clinch, not just a single collar tie, but full on clinching, his knees to the body are so sharp, dude. It might be my favorite body knees in the clinch in the UFC right now. Oliveira is very good as well, but and Cowboy Cerrone used to be very good back in the day. But Fiziev, when he rips knees to the body in the clinch, dude, it doesn't make any sense. The fast twitch, the time it takes, it's like 3 frames. It's like he's planted, second frame, the knees landing, third frame, it's already back down. It's crazy. It's so fast. It's so sharp. But you're not going to outdog Gaethje. It's not going to happen.
No.
And ultimately, Gaethje just kept on him, like you said, made great adjustments, dropped him with that uppercut in round 2 after losing round 1. And then round 3, the first part of round 3, I thought Fiziev was working really well. He's back southpaw. He blasts like 4 body kicks in a row. Gaethje just eating him to the gut. And I was like, dude, even if you're fine, you can't just – this is a close fight. You can't just be taking these. But Gaethje just put on the pressure, started landing some big shots. The big difference in this fight for me, too, was Fiziev, I think, is the better striker in the clinch, but Gaethje striking into the clinch and striking on the exit from the clinch was very good, dude, because he started landing that big right hand where he pushes you off and then throws that right hand like a weird clubbing shot, and it's just fucking beautiful. Great fight.
Big win for Gaethje, though. Big win for Gaethje. And then I love the respect at the end. Then when they ask if there will be a trilogy, and Gaethje says, we don't want to do that to our families, man. Every time they go to war, it's an absolute war. So,
yeah. And he said the same thing about the Dustin trilogy. But this right here, I don't know how Fiziev took. I talk about striking on the exit of clinching. Gaethje separates the clinch and throws this high kick. They're standing right next to each other.
Super close.
How did he get his leg over the shoulder? I don't know, but he kicked him right in the back of the head, and Fiziev just was unfazed by it. And I saw in the post-fight press conference the same thing. Gaethje's like, yeah, I hit him with that uppercut, but no way that was harder than the fucking head kick that I landed at the clinch. Like, dude ruined a highlight reel with that. So funny.
Yeah, so much respect for each other, though. And he even said, man, for this dude to go all 3 rounds at that pace on 12 days notice, absolute warrior. Props to Fiziev. His stock for me goes up.
Yeah, this is the win-win for him. If he comes out here and beats Gaethje, obviously that's
him
huge,
in ranked 11th.
Ranked 11th on 12 days notice. It's the last time he fought was in 2023, where he tore his ACL in the fight. Yeah, so what are we talking about? It's great.
All right,
can't wait to see him fight again.
We will move on. We have 2 more fights that we're going to cover from this UFC card because we have one fight night to cover still. But we had Ignacio Bahamondes versus Jalin Turner.
Yes, this one you picked Bahamondes, I picked Turner.
So we...
Yeah, so Bahamondes comes out, cracks him immediately, and I was like, well, shit. And then they kind of clash and in a weird kind of clinch, and Jalen's kind of able to like wrestle him down, and I was like, oh, maybe we're good.
Bahamondes so sneaky off his back,
dude. So Jalin Turner lands a couple shots, and then all of a sudden Bahamondes is just like, all right, fine. If I'm not able to get you off me, because he fought the knee shield pretty well, was able to create distance, push his hips back, and then he's like, but Turner was able to stay on top, right? And he's like, fine, I'll just start destroying you with elbows.
So dude, good.
Holy shit, man. So active off of his back with striking and submission attempts.
Because so this right here, right?
Yeah.
Hip up, starts landing hammer fists, elbows, and then Jalin doesn't
Diego
like
Sanchez,
that.
Diego Sanchez versus Clay Guida reminded me of the elbows.
Oh, yeah, money, dude. But Turner tries to close the distance there again, right? Lays on top of him. Bahamondes tries to sneak in the guillotine over because Jalin Turner tries to tuck in to avoid those elbows. Jalin Turner pops out. There's a little bit of a scramble again. It looks like he almost like shrimps out right and ends up on his side a little bit. Turner says, no, no, no. And then when his leg swings over, when he gets back over there, I was like, oh, he's in trouble. He's in trouble. Like, he's got to try to get out of there ASAP. But Turner tries to pull away. But Bahamondes with the death grip, dude, on those wrists.
Yeah.
So he couldn't
the hand
pull
control
away.
was nasty, dude.
So
and you know, that's one of those things where both these guys are long for the weight class, and that can aid you and be a detriment with submissions, because you can lock up like darces and things like that if you've got long limbs. But then at the same time, it's like harder to escape sometimes if you're caught in something. If you have these long limbs, good luck getting your arm out if you're Jalin Turner, of a triangle. It's stuck in there, dude. And then the long legs of Bahamondes really helps you lock up triangles. So it's weird that, jiu-jitsu's like that. Or I guess fighting's like that in general. Some things can be such a pro, but there's always a cost to everything, And unfortunately for Jalin Turner,
angle too. Beautiful angle.
Completely turned, dude.
Yeah,
completely turned.
So he has I think it was his left arm trapped, his left leg trapped. Of course, his neck is in triangle. And when you see him tap, did you see how he tapped? All you could do is go, pop, pop, pop. Just move his fingers. There's nothing else he could do. He was cinched in there, man. There was no getting him out.
Yeah, and then he said he's going to retire. And you're like,
it's been a rough go, huh? It's been a little bit of a rough go for Jalin Turner. I get it. And
at
a certain point, I think Bahamondes now breaks into the top 15.
For sure.
And listen, he had this nice run where he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fight win streak. Then he listen to who he fights. Loses to Matus Gamrot.
Yeah.
Savage. And by the way, just a split decision. Loses to Dan Hooker, by the way, just a split decision. He beats Bobby Green. Punches first round, but then he loses to Renato Moicano, ground and pound, and loses to Bahamondes with the choke. So he's lost 4 out of his last 5. And look, dude, I get it.
And the Moicano one he almost got.
Oh, yeah. He had him rocked.
Yeah, he tried to do a walk-off.
If he would have actually jumped on him instead of just, look, if this was like basketball or something like that, I get it, dude. This is a fight game, bro. And if you're saying, hey, I'm fighting for a title, like that's why I'm here. I'm fighting for the title. I want to be the best. I'm fighting to be the best. And then you lose to Matus. You lose to Dan Hooker. You lose to Renato Moicano. You lose to now Ignacio Bahamondes. And you're asking yourself, can I really get to that title? And I think if him and his young age says, you know what, that just ain't me, then props to him too, man, for getting out before he takes all that additional damage.
True. Selfishly, I would like to see him continue because he's very fun.
He's only 29, dude.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But good for him, man. I hope that he finds what he's looking for after the fight game, huh?
Yeah. You want to move on?
We will move on. The last fight we're going to cover, Mauricio Huffy versus King Green, Bobby Green.
Ruffy. It's not a real name. It's not his real name. But Ruffy.
What is his real name?
I'm not sure what his real name is, but yeah, Ruffy's just like a nickname because like Luffy from One Piece.
Mauricio Ruffy. His nickname's One Shot. So he has 2 nicknames?
Yeah, dude.
Mauricio One Shot, Ruffy. I don't even know what his last name is.
One Shot's pretty good, huh? Because let's take a look from this. Shout out to Happy Punch for posting these clips of the cage side footage. It is One Shot indeed. Ooh. Also a very good nickname. I mean, this wheel kick is fucking crazy, man. And one of the things that so they start the fight starts. Bobby Green's doing his thing, shoulder rolling, things like that, right? He gets cracked with a big right straight, which is Ruffy's like best punch. It's like Conor's left hand. Ruffy very similar to Conor. A lot of comparisons all the time, right? But the stance and his entries are somewhat similar. And that long straight right hand really reminds me of Conor's left. And he cracks Bobby, and Bobby falls back up against the fence. And I was like, oh no, dude. It looked like Bobby saw a ghost. I think, and there's a perfect picture. The next picture, Rich, if you want to put it up. This is him stumbling back from that right hand. That's very telling. Good. Yeah, it's not good. And then, they do a little thing for like 10 seconds, feeling each other out. Ruffy feints this left hook. Bobby shoots his right hand down, brings the left hand up, tries to shoulder roll that left hand, but the left hand never came. And and he drew the shoulder roll out to throw that wheel kick and just completely flatlines him. Fucking beautiful, dude.
So while Ruffy has become his moniker, Mauricio's real name still remains a mystery. What?
Oh, that's cool, dude. Come on, the fighting nerds are so cool, dude. That's so cool. He's the man with no name, dude.
That just adds on to his legend, man.
Yeah,
that is
walk
awesome.
out to some Clint Eastwood music or something, dude. But yeah, beautiful knockout from Ruffy. That's probably your knockout of the year right there. I don't know what could possibly beat that. I mean, that's incredible. Crowd goes crazy. It's a walk-off. Show the next picture, Rich. Because Bobby just crumbles and he lands in this stance and just stands there over him like a fucking Power Ranger hitting a pose. It's just perfect. I hate to say it because I really like Bobby, right? Blunderup says, I'm split on KOs like this. It's fucking crazy, but I usually have to watch a guy bounce and faint until I lose interest before it happens. Thanks to Ruffy for making it happen early.
I wonder what Tagnoni told him after. You think that head kick was bad, huh?
Yeah, you should see the way your face dragged against it.
Dude, it was rough though, because when you did see Bobby
bad.
Green sit up, like he just had blood all over his.
He broke his nose when he fell. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Rough.
And it sucks to see because I'm a huge, well-documented Bobby Green fan. I know he's divisive, but that's my boy. But I like both these guys, and I liked what I saw from Bobby after the fight. He seemed very respectful to Ruffy and was like, "God damn, dude, you got me."
He usually is.
Oh yeah, for sure. Gracious.
Yeah.
Gracious.
Yes. All right.
Fighting nerds, though, man. They're something special, and
I think
you see him run out there
17-0. I think between the four guys, they're 17-0 so far to start off their UFC careers.
Is it really? That's crazy.
Yeah.
John Silva's got a big one up against Bryce Mitchell coming up.
Silva, Ruffy, and Bahalio.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Man.
All right. That's all we're going to cover for UFC 313, but I'm sure we had a moment of silence, right, Will?
Yes, we had some fights that we lost.
RIP.
Yeah, Bruno Silva versus Josh Van. We didn't get that. Silva withdrew, so we got Saruya, which actually we're not going to have time to talk about it, but that fight was actually really fucking cool. Really cool grappling from both guys. Not as like exciting as you would think, but as far as like a technique standpoint, some really cool shit in that fight. Vitor Petrino versus Janice didn't happen. Chris Gutierrez versus Matsumoto didn't happen, which sucks. I like Matsumoto. So they got him John Castaneda. Castaneda pulls out during the event. That's not good. Curtis Blades versus Rizvan Kuniev. Never even heard of the guy, I'll be honest. It's just like his UFC debut, and they gave him Curtis Blades. But Curtis Blades got sick. Also pulls out during the fight card. And then Gaethje was supposed to fight Hooker, but Hooker broke his hand, had to get surgery. If you haven't seen the pictures, it's fucking disgusting. Oof. But that sucks because that would have been a banger. We got Fiziev, so it's okay, but I still wish we could have seen that. Yeah.
All right. And then monies. Who got the monies? Does Justin Gaethje bring home 100% bonus rate? Let's see.
Yeah. So Bahamondes got one for his triangle choke on Jalen Turner.
Well deserved.
Yeah. Ruffy got one on his wheel kick knockout of Bobby King Green.
Yes.
And then fight of the night went to
Justin versus Steve. Justin Gaethje, man. 100% bonus rate in the UFC.
Yeah.
How crazy is that? Just guaranteed an additional $50K every time you walk out there.
Yeah, should be more, but what are you gonna do?
All right.
They're like, we have to raise the pay-per-view prices because of inflation. Yet the bonuses.
But also, you try to buy it and it won't work.
Yeah.
All right. It is time, Will. We are switching over. We are covering one fight night. Was it one fight night 29, if I remember correctly?
Yes.
One fight night 29. Rodrigues versus McManamon. There you go, dude. Just make it McMahon. Come on, what are we doing here? McManamon. But yes, if you're just tuning in, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, goes a long way. We're going to be covering all these awesome fights from One Fight Night 29. If you don't like watching, but you like listening, you got other ways, right, Will?
Yeah, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Podcasts if you just want to listen, but we highly suggest YouTube, and then we're on socials, Story the Fight. Go to storythefight.com. It'll list our Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, everything, Story the Fight. Makes it easy. If you're watching this live, make sure you're in the chat so we can talk about these fights, and if you're watching it after, we got timestamps down below.
Let's
get
it. Let's start off with Allycia Rodrigues versus Marie McManamon.
Ooh. Dude, Alicia's
Allycia
so
Rodrigues,
good.
she's a monster, dude.
She's so
This
good.
wasn't even fair. And I'm watching the fight, and I kind of got upset, Will.
Did you?
Yes, because at the end of the first right, so Allycia Rodrigues, look, you've been watching it a lot longer than I have. You've been watching one. Look at the
Mhm.
footage. This is what you want to watch on YouTube because we're showing the
You
footage.
can
Shout
see
out
this
one for allowing us to
violence.
show the footage. But if I know, Allycia Rodrigues is a slow starter.
Oh yeah, but
Everybody
with
knows this.
purpose. With
Yes,
purpose.
everybody knows
Yeah.
this. You know who doesn't know this?
Who?
McManaman's corner. Did you watch back?
Oh.
And they're like, this is exactly what we wanted to see. Your pressure has your guessing. You won this round. You won this.
Well,
You got
gotta,
this.
right? You gotta.
No,
You're not.
no.
What are you gonna come back and be like? Hey, she made all the reads that she needs for the rest of this
Yes.
fight.
Be like, you're in trouble. McManaman,
Yeah.
be careful. She
Yeah,
downloaded all
because-
the information she needed to.
Dude, the
That
whole
deep
first
kick,
round.
She's gonna start catching it now. Just be
Yeah.
careful.
The whole first round, Allycia is throwing that teep kick to the body, and it's so good. And you start to see McManamon start to like try to parry it, and then I was like, oh, now the right hand's set up, because if she just brings that knee up, she's gonna drop her lead hand to try to parry the kick that doesn't exist, and there's now a lane for the right hand. But yes, the first round, downloading a ton of data, McManamon won the first round, I thought, most likely.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not actually. I think it was close, but
I think
I
McManaman
thought
definitely won that first round.
watching it live, I thought she won. Yeah. But Allycia, I think it's hard for me to pick somebody who builds as well as she does right now in mixed martial arts, Muay Thai, kickboxing. Her output and her technique as she starts to open up her game across each round it's a masterclass, dude. You watch her first round, dude. If you don't win the first 3 rounds against her, fucking get ready, because if you let her start to build, if you let her start to build, if you lose the second round, it's going to be really tough to win that third round. And if you lose that third round, you're not going to win that fourth round. It's just
blunderbug. I agree. Hats off to McManamon. No quit in the face of a fucking avalanche.
Dude, once she started going, it is an avalanche, the way she builds. It's a snowball rolling down a mountain, whatever you want to say. It's beautiful to watch, because you see it, when you know this about her and you're not in the fight with it. I'm sure while you're in the fight, it's very hard to decipher what's happening. But when you're on the couch watching it, you can see the setups and what they're going to pay off with later on in the fight. And then you see her capitalize on it. And it's just realized cool
it says bully on her shirt.
Yeah, dude. Perfect.
Yeah, dude, so good. So good. Oh man. But amazing work. The jab was working really well for her. The punches and bunches.
That left hand right straight combo.
The extra shots beyond the bell.
Oh yeah. Well, she apologized
twice
after the first one, but then she did it again the next round.
Sorry. Total mistake won't happen again until the second round.
Yeah, exactly. But then I won't do it again after that. So, but yeah, I thought this was look, props to McManamon for making her one debut in a title fight on short notice. Right, this was not supposed to be the matchup. It was supposed to be Cohen. So props to her. She fought well. I'd like to see more from her. I can't imagine a short camp for Rodrigues. It's got to be rough. But if anybody didn't see this fight, absolutely watch this fight, because Allycia is
by the champ.
She's just so dangerous, dude. So fun to watch. She puts it all together. Glad she got a bonus.
Yeah,
we didn't even say it was doctor stoppage, right? In between the between rounds.
It was a doctor stoppage. I was so swollen.
Yes, doctor stoppage.
McManamon should have yelled that actually repeatedly. Yeah. It would have been awesome.
Yeah.
I was swollen. Forehead was swollen. Her face was just
bad,
swollen.
Dude.
She looked like a puffer fish by the end of it. It was bad.
Yeah, that last picture shows it, especially the contrast, dude.
Ooh,
God,
let me see. Oh yeah,
yeah, but very good win for Allycia. I'd like to see them run the Sheer Cohen fight. I think that's what she said in the post-fight interview. So book it, make it happen.
Book it. All right, we will go on. We also had Rambolek versus Gheirati.
Dude, 4-ounce Muay Thai. It's
Nothing
so
better, dude.
fucking good, dude.
Nothing better.
That right hand from Rambolek is something else, man. Look at this thing.
Oh, piston. Straight down.
His right leg and his right hand are so perfect. They're picture perfect weapons. And props to Gheirati because what 4 knockdowns was it
Yeah, 4 knockdowns.
across the
They
fight?
had to go off the 4 knockdown rule because they got 2 in the first, saved by the bell at the end, and then got 2 more in the second.
Well, the last one was there was just no way, dude. It was so nasty.
I think he
And
throws
props to
like
him 'cause
a high kick or something like that, and
yeah.
as soon as the foot comes back down, boom, there it is.
Olivia's
Perfect
like,
timing of that
nah,
video,
dude.
yeah. Oh, look at he's holding it on his face like that. Hurt really bad.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You got to stop it at that point. But
Ugh.
Rambolek, very good because the Gheirati had a ton of pressure, right? He's walking him down.
I think that was the game plan.
Yeah, break this guy.
But
Rambolek said, hold up, because
yeah,
I can teep and I can elbow, and you're going to walk into this elbow, you're going to take a step back, I'll teep you even further, and then I'll hit you with this right high kick, and then as soon as you start walking in, now I can throw my right straight. It was just very good fighting from Rambolek. Just a banger. Look at this picture. Step Brothers ass picture right here, dude. They're fighting in the
golf club and the baseball bat.
Yeah.
At the same time. So good, dude. Props to Rambolek. Amazing performance.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think, we're going to skip Kovtun versus Solin Ooh. Solin Ooh, the funny thing about it, shout out real quick, dude. He just gets so angry anytime anything lands, and it's hilarious. I love watching him fight.
Yeah, it's like you're building a rage meter as you land on him, and you're like, do I want to land on this guy? Because he's gonna walk me down.
No matter what, body kick, and he goes, brushes it off. Punch, like lands a jab, brushes it off, and then he just comes back off his off. It's hilarious. All right, but the next fight we're gonna cover, Erdogan versus Galvao. Galvao, the Ninja Turtle, built just like a Ninja Turtle, definitely all natty, going up against the undefeated Shamil Erdogan.
Yeah, and I thought,
oh my god, dude!
I know, dude. I know, dude. I had to use that as the face-off.
Preposterous, bro.
And Shamil, we just saw fight, right? He knocked out my boy. And then in this one, I don't know if they put any. Yes, they did. If you like knees to the head on the ground, let's see it. That's Rambolek's finish.
That's not it.
Also, shout out one for just putting all the highlights and finishes and stuff on there.
Beautiful
YouTube.
He's just shelled up there on the ground.
What that didn't show is Galvao started off aggressive. And he's like, look, my best shot is probably going to be to sprint at this dude and crack him. It's going to be my best shot. And he tried. He ran at him. He's throwing punches at him. He actually caught Erdogan once. And then he shoots on a takedown. Erdogan frames off, lands a nasty knee to the head, and he just drops. And you're like, uh-oh. This isn't good. And then he lands another one on the ground, and it's like, dude, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. And that was it. Let's get Shamil a title shot, huh?
Erdogan on a tear, right? On Lasong and Galvao now.
Yeah, I want to see him fight Malakin real bad.
Ooh, what a fight, dude.
I need
my
that
money.
fight.
Take my money. All right. Who do we have next? Baatarkhuu?
Yeah. Baatarkhuu versus Jeremy. Dude,
Pacatiw.
Another one that I think should be getting a title shot. I need Baatarkhuu, dude. I need him in a title fight. This guy is so aggressive. He doesn't slow down. He hits hard. He landed a fucking wheel kick in this fight, just like your boy
in the
Ruffy.
First 10 seconds.
And Jeremy just ate it, dude. He just
at first I was like, oh, he must have just brushed him off. Like, no, it hit him hard.
It hit him really hard. Right on the temple.
Baatarkhuu's such a wild man. He's like the one fight night or the one Richard Bustos. You know what I mean?
With
like
the hair, dude.
With the hair, dude, just wild flowing in the wind.
Dude,
the beard.
Yeah. He's so cool, dude. He's so cool. I love the tattoo. His grappling is fun. He's down there with a purpose. He's hunting submissions, trying to tear your limbs off. But then Jeremy, I thought, fought very well off of his back. At one point, he reversed him, took his back, and then tried to land an armbar from the back, and ended up on the bottom again. But very fun scrambles in this one. I'm a huge Baatarkhuu fan. I want to see this guy fight for the belt. He's super active. I feel like he fights. I feel like every time we cover one, he's one of the fighters that's on the like. He fights all the time.
Pacatiw, man, like there's not much you could do, dude. It was just a lot of top control from Baatarkhuu. So
yeah, and good body kicks from Jeremy, but ultimately body kicks will help your guy if he's trying to take you down, and it did. Baatarkhuu just took those body kicks and took him down off of him, but it was a fun fight.
You, right? Baatarkhuu, who does he fight next?
Oh man, he's 4, I think, right?
Yeah, Pacatiw was 5, I believe. Baatarkhuu was 4.
Let me pull up the rankings really quick. I don't even know if you need to give him
any more.
Yeah, I don't know. Kwanwan Il just lost, right? Stephen Lohman, maybe. Lineker's doing kickboxing and stuff. I personally just want to see him fight for the belt at this point. Yeah, just give him Andrade, like Mauricio says. Let's do it, dude. That's a fun fight.
Yeah.
It's a very fun fight. I think he's earned it.
Always fun to watch, man.
Yeah.
All right.
The tenacity is crazy, dude. It's crazy.
You ready for the next one?
Yes. Yes. What do we got?
We had, God, this was such a fun fight. Martyna Kierczynska.
Oh, dude.
This is Yau Pui.
Oh, dude. This is one of the better fights I've seen in a while. I thought, and I knew going into this was the fight I was looking forward to the most.
Well, this was out of the entire weekend my favorite fight.
Yeah, dude. It was, both these fighters are just all gas, no brakes, move forward. And I was like, who's going to wilt? Who's going to start moving backwards? Neither of them. They literally just met in the middle and swang on each other. And, the first round, I thought Martyna was landing the cleaner strikes. She was catching Yau Pui as she was coming in with long, straight punches, right? And they'd clinch, and she's ripping to the body with knees. And for people who say one separates the clinch too quickly, I would say sometimes I agree with that. Watch this fight. Olivier, I thought, officiated this fight perfectly. He let them work in the clinch, and as soon as they were done working in the clinch, he would separate them. But clean striking from Martyna. Second round. Blunderbug says, if you hated that UFC strawweight fight, you should cleanse your palate with this one.
I was just about to say right now. Yeah. You know how much it sucks to watch Amanda Lemos versus Yasmin Lucindo after watching this?
I know.
After watching Yau Pui versus Kierczynska? Then I had to watch Lemos versus Lucindo. Yeah. Get out of here, dude.
Dude, the first round was a cleaner round, and I think that benefits Martyna. Second round, Yau Pui said, fuck it, dude. I'm throwing it all, dude. I'm throwing everything but these.
You mean T1000?
Yeah.
T1000?
Oh, my God, dude.
She's just walking forward. Pop.
Yeah.
Kierczynska just hitting her with everything. And she's just throwing straight after straight after straight, just walking straight forward, dude. Insane.
The second round was pure chaos. This is the first round, but
I wanted a fourth round so bad.
Well, I don't know if Yau Pui needed a fourth round, dude, because
we all needed it.
So the fight was basically this the entire time, not just in the clinch, but just like this aggression, constantly striking each other. I mean, it's crazy. Olivier's like, God damn, dude.
Like,
Olivier's like, normally
shout
I stop
out Olivier Cost, bro.
How are you gonna stop this? I know, he's so good. But second round, Yau Pui really put it on Martyna, bloodied up her face. Her nose is bleeding. Her eyes are starting to swell. And I was like, oh, man. And I was rooting for Martyna because that's my girl. But, I mean, look at this fucking footage, dude.
This was the entire fight.
Yeah, literally, this was the entire fight. And then the third round, when it got to the third round, I thought, okay, this is probably split, right? I thought Martyna took the first round. Yau Pui took the second. Third round, it's a banger. I thought Kierczynska did a great job of circling and not just walking straight backwards and allowing Yau Pui to tag her. She started circling more, landing longer punches. But the real difference maker was that last 15, 20 seconds, dude. That third round was close, but did you see the elbows that Martyna landed at the end of the fight? Oh, yeah.
Dude, good. Not just at the end of the fight, but some of those elbows I think it was towards the end of the first, beginning of the second, where Yau Pui goes for like that collar grab, right?
Mhm.
And so since she was so close and she's getting pulled forward, Kierczynska
Yeah.
comes up with that left elbow as she's getting pulled in. Yau Pui
Yeah.
had to let go. But dude, just so much
Dude,
fun.
if you ever want to get amped up, you just put this fight on. It was such a banger. It was so good, dude. And I don't know if this clip has the end of
The
this
spin
fight,
back
but yeah. And that landed,
so
by the way.
good.
This
It
spinning
did.
back just landed. Um,
And
the
Yau
body
Pui did not
kicks.
care. She kept on
Dude,
moving forward. Look at she
it's
just ate another
crazy.
elbow on the entry, just ate another left on the entry, still throwing nonstop.
I
Look,
mean,
throws her own elbow.
it is really crazy, man.
Oh my
I'm gonna
god.
skip forward a little bit to the end of the fight because watch the ending sequence. Martyna lands like 3 elbows, and you're like, those were nasty. And then you realize all of them cut her. Literally, each elbow she threw cut Yau Pui, and the fight ends. The camera switches to the other side, and the whole side of her face is now covered
Oh
in
my
blood
god.
from those last elbows. So if you're squeamish, I'm assuming this video has it.
Where's Evie?
There's one. There's a second one. And you can see, look at her. Ah, they cut
Oh
the
my
blood.
god.
But yes, spoiler alert, Martyna won the fight. But what a fucking fight, dude. What a fight.
Amazing fight. Like I said, it sucks watching this type of female fighting, then bouncing over to the UFC's female fighting because there is no comparison to one's
Yeah,
Muay Thai female fighters, dude. Amazing.
it's
All
so
right,
good, dude.
we'll move on to the
Yeah, we're
last fight.
running close on time.
We're gonna cover Saputra versus Zakirov.
Yes. We need to talk about this because Zakirov, I think, is one of the top prospects in MMA right now in the world.
12-0.
12-0. Got a big win here. Not without adversity, though. At the end of that he definitely won the first round pretty dominantly. But
But he got dropped.
Dude, he got cracked at the end of that fight. And that is something that you need to learn. You need to learn that. Because look at this. Lazy leg kick from Zakirov.
Yep.
And
Guard
Fletcher
down.
comes back.
Boom.
And the
up
round ends
middle,
pretty much right
splits that
there, right?
guard.
But that's something you need to learn, dude. You cannot be throwing these lazy leg kicks. Takedowns are what you need.
By the way,
And
Herb Dean in one, way better than Herb Dean in UFC. Herb Dean
thumbs up.
is no
Almost like-
nonsense in one.
Yeah. Almost like the rules matter in one
Yeah. Hey,
and are better.
pushes him away. Yellow card for grabbing onto the ropes.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Any clinching for a short period of time is like, enough of this crap.
Yeah.
Get back to the center of the ring. Dude, so good.
No
So good.
nonsense.
Great job, Herb Dean.
Let's work. And then Zakirov gets dropped big time at the end of the first round. Second round, he gets a takedown immediately. And then I haven't seen someone get knocked out in guard like this since Stipe versus Overeem.
Dude, and I think that the first right did more damage than people think.
You mean the one that knocked him out, in my opinion?
Right?
Dude. Yeah, the first shot was crazy.
They were like, that left put him out, but I was like, oh, watch that first one.
Yeah, let's see it.
All right, here we go.
He's out.
There it is. Yeah.
That first right, he's out, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy,
Rough.
dude.
Rough.
Just 2 big shots from guard to put him out.
Zakirov, though.
Oh my
solid.
God, dude. Yeah.
Solid. All right.
I'd like to see him in there soon.
That was
Cool
the last
shorts,
fight
too.
we're going to be covering from One Fight Night 29.
Yes, we do.
Awesome card.
Yeah, we do. Really, this will be very brief. We do need to talk about Ban Ma versus Joshua Pereira. I don't know if you saw this one because we weren't going to cover it, but it's worth talking about because Pereira is one of our boys. Remember Rick, the photographer that we were hanging out with?
Yeah.
This is his boy. Matt Brown is his coach. Got his one debut. Very excited for it, but our boy, he tore his ACL in the first round. Literally a minute into the fight, he tears his ACL, which really sucks. Still fights because he's a dog, and then it buckles again.
There's only so much you could do.
There's really only so much you could do. It buckles a third time, and it's too much, right?
And then Bam
but
almost
then
knocks himself out.
We get this celebration.
Oh, dude. So bad.
Dude.
So bad.
It's brutal.
I thought he KO'd
like,
himself
bad.
at first, dude. The way he laid there.
He's probably like, in that 1 second of him laying there, he's like, I cannot believe I just did that. And he's like, I need to get up so people don't think I'm injured. And the best part is Ray was like, and he sticks the landing. And then Nish goes, no, he didn't.
So good.
Oh man.
Great
So funny.
great card once again from One.
Yes. Great card.
Tickets
We're just
available
having fun.
now.
Yes, Denver. They're going back
For
to Denver in August. Stamp versus Denise. That'll be fun. There's some other fights. Obviously, they're going to put on that are going to be very fun. But yes, that's going to be sick. We're hoping to be there. In 2 weeks, they got 172. Oh yeah, Shamil, Allycia, and Rambolek all got bonuses.
Nice.
Very cool. But yeah, the big one, the Japan card, 172. If you're watching this, you already know, but that's just going to be sick. And we will be doing a fight companion. There may be a mystery guest on that fight companion. We'll see who it is. But we will be doing a fight companion. So if you're going to be staying up and watching that card, if you're in America and you're watching that, it starts at, I think, 1 a.m. for me. Maybe 2 because we just had daylight savings. But that's just going to be sick. It's going to be so fun.
All right. Well, hey, shout out. Thank you, everybody that tuned in. Means a lot whenever y'all are able to log on and chat with us live. If you know anybody that likes mixed martial arts, tell them to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We're trying to reach 20,000 subscribers. We're steadily climbing. And if you don't like watching YouTube, you got other options, right, Will?
Yes. If you want to just listen, we got Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube Podcast for audio only. If you want to watch, we highly suggest YouTube. We also do the live stream on Twitch. But YouTube is definitely where it's at because we can show the clips from fights. We can show pictures. We can give context so you can, we don't have to paint it, the picture in your minds because we're probably not very good at that.
Yeah,
so we just
not.
let the pictures do the talking. But yeah, YouTube, and then follow us on social media, Instagram, Twitter,
Meteor.
TikTok, the Meteor, because we're rising.
Wait, Meteor.
Meteoric rise. This is where we lose a little steam. We're an hour and 7 minutes in. But yeah, just follow us on everything. StoryTheFight.com will list all of our socials. Click through them, hit follow, chat with us on socials about fights because we do this show every Sunday, but we like talking fights every day.
It's been fun, y'all. By the way, anybody wondering how this show's produced, it's by none other than used to be Richard Casual. I don't know. I think he's switching over, but our producer, Richard Bustos. Shout out to him. And thank you, everybody, for joining us for another week of Story of the Fight.